Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have to tell you, I feel a little bit, baby boo bit, vindicated here. What have I been saying on this channel for a long time? I have been saying that XRP is indeed tethered to the price action of Bitcoin, but I've also stated that XRP, out of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, I've been saying this for months and months and months, it is indeed the least correlated to Bitcoin in terms of price action, out of the top 10 cryptocurrencies. And what do we got on the screen right here? It's a piece from A&B Crypto, and we've got some data now. Take a look at this. XRP and XLM have the least correlation with Bitcoin among the top 10 cryptocurrency list. And so there's a little there's a little dispute, just a little tiny one, as to as far as what I said, is XRP indeed the least correlated to Bitcoin in terms of price action of the top 10? Well, XLM may have had a beat, but maybe not entirely. I'll get into what I mean in just a moment here, though. So I'm going to cover that. And I've got a couple tweets I want to share from the XRP community. And then I will wrap up this video with a piece that I found quite fascinating. Tech giant Samsung teams up with Ripple partner Finabler. Is blockchain or XRP involved? Now, before we get going here, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, the best thing that you could do with your life in this exact moment, the here and now, is go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel. Do yourself a favor, treat yourself, girl. Let's go ahead and dig into this piece here, though. First mover Bitcoin is rightfully enjoying all the advantages as every other cryptocurrency is pegged to it, giving it a wild sway over altcoins. Since Bitcoin is the most traded cryptocurrency, excluding Tether, and is one of the dominant trading pairs on most exchanges, the effect of any sudden movement in Bitcoin can be seen in altcoins. To put it simply, there is a strong correlation between altcoins and Bitcoin. According to Unfolded's correlation matrix, a correlation between Bitcoin and the top 10 cryptocurrencies is not only positive, but very high. Ethereum is 85% correlated to Bitcoin, while Bitcoin Cash is 89.42%. The same trend can be seen for Litecoin, EOS, Binance Coin, and Bitcoin SV. However, what's interesting is that the correlation for XRP, the third largest cryptocurrency, and its so-called competitor XLM, is very less. This means that these coins' price moves independently to that of Bitcoin. Also, looking at Spearman correlation charts for XRP and XLM gives a much clearer idea about the decreasing correlation over the past month. Correlation among cryptocurrency paints one narrative, while correlation with traditional assets paints another. There is this dogma about Bitcoin set by the so-called OGs, that's original gangstas, for those of you not hip enough to know, of Bitcoin, which believe that Bitcoin is supposed to be a hedge against traditional assets. I'm still actually kind of amazed they put OGs in there, but whatever. It's not OGs, like if you're hearing an OH space JEEZ, that's wrong. It's the letter O capital, the letter G capital, lowercase s, the OGs, original gangstas. Anyway, right. However, that is a bit of a stretch as of now, and it might change in the future, and BTC could very well become a safe haven asset. So look where this came from. This is the original tweet from Unfolded here. Let's talk about this. So here's the correlation. You've got the top 10 cryptocurrencies here on the left and all the way to the right, and so you can see the correlation. Let's just look down this way. So XRP price action. It's 56.52% correlated to the price action of Bitcoin. Now, take a look at this. Here's XLM. This is stellar. It is 40.64% correlated to Bitcoin. So that does mean that XLM is even less correlated to Bitcoin than XRP. Okay. Does this mean Moon Lambo's wrong? Not so fast. It depends on the time frame which you're talking about. And by the way, I do want to say, to be fair, I've been making this claim for a long time, and I didn't actually go ahead and punch in numbers and this and that into an Excel spreadsheet. I could see it visibly. It's so obvious if you just look at a freaking chart. XRP, and I've been following it for almost 2 years, I can see it. I follow it day to day, and I know that it just moves in tandem less than the rest of the coins. So take a look at this. Here's the top 10 cryptocurrencies on Live Coin Watch. Stellar is at number 10. So when I'm talking about is XRP the least correlated or is it Stellar, well, it depends on what you're talking about, because Stellar is not always in space number 10. Sometimes it's a different coin. It could be Cardano, it could be Tron, it could be whatever. Some of these bump in and out of the top 10, so it depends on what time frame you're talking about. But it doesn't matter. I feel like if you're talking about whether or not Stellar or XRP are less correlated to Bitcoin, we're starting to get a little bit nitpicky for my taste. The concept that I was trying to get across is what's most important, and then the reasons behind that. And I've only theorized, it's speculation. Why is this the case? Why could it be that XRP and XLM are indeed less correlated to Bitcoin in terms of price action than the others? Well, I have postulated that perhaps indeed it has something to do with the degree to which XRP investors are educated, the degree to which they're knowledgeable. You know, you're going to get people with any of these coins, including XRP, that don't really for sure know what they're investing in and more likely to maybe FOMO in or panic sell. I get that. That's still going. But if you're listening to a channel like this, I'm willing to bet that, okay, you could be new to this, and bravo for you if you're legitimately trying to learn about this space and XRP and everything. But I think a ton of you listening, you are very well versed on what's going on here. And you're like me, like, I don't know everything. I'm always seeking to learn more. I suspect you're probably in the same position here. So, excuse me. So what I would postulate here is that the reason for this is the reason that you're seeing just dramatically less correlation in terms of price action to Bitcoin is because utility matters. If you're researching this space and you see that a cryptocurrency is actually being adopted, would that make you more likely to invest your money? Now, I would certainly argue that Stellar is not being adopted to the same degree as XRP, so there could certainly be other factors in there, but I'm trying to get a conversation going on this. Why is it less correlated? And it seems reasonable to me to speculate, because what are the other differences between XRP and these other coins? Or is it the tech? Maybe it's the tech. It actually could be that, because if you think about it, okay, so out of the top 10, XRP and XLM. Well, for those of you that don't know, XLM, which is Stellar, it's a copycat of XRP. It's the same code, and then it was slightly modified and then launched. It's literally, they took the same code and then they did just tweak it. And there's a couple differences. For instance, XRP is deflationary while Stellar is inflationary, okay, because Jed wanted it to be inflationary, creator of Stellar, and actually one of the original creators of XRP as well. So maybe that's it. Maybe people are legitimately just looking at the tech out of the top 10. Maybe that's a bigger factor. Again, this is just me speculating, trying to engage in some critical thinking. What is the difference here? Because the rest of the coins, they have a notably larger correlation to Bitcoin price action, and it's dramatic. In fact, outside of Tether, which again is a stable coin and it's not worthy of being included in here. Look at this. So again, XLM 40% correlated. XRP 56% correlated. Other than that, you know what the third one is in terms of correlation? It's Binance Coin, BNB, at 76%. So none of the other top 10 coins are even close to XRP and XLM in terms of the correlation of price action. Something is going on here. It's like people are figuring this out. Maybe it's more simple. It's just like people are figuring out that proof of work is actually rather problematic. And my whole investment thesis is that utility matters. And for utility to actually take hold, of course, you have to have developers building on top of the ledger in a meaningful way, most certainly. But you also have to have technology that freaking works. And you don't, frankly, have that with Bitcoin, which is nothing more than a glorified prototype at this point, which deserves to be in a museum, respectfully in a museum. I appreciate that it's out there. I don't hate Bitcoin. I'm glad it's out in the space and it's doing its thing and it's got its brand recognition. I don't hate it. I am not a maximalist of any coin. I'm just following what I think makes sense, and I don't offer financial advice, but I think utility will win the day. And again, that's centered around XRP as far as I'm concerned, because it is indeed the only cryptocurrency being used in the commercial production of anything. So anyway, I feel rather vindicated looking at this. And I just hope that this paints a really clear picture of what I've been trying to say here. And so even if you see other coins start to run up, I feel like we've got rather savvy investors that are holding XRP, and I think that that's a factor. I really do. I really, really do. And again, not financial advice, but I think there's pretty much no chance in hell that the all-time high we saw of XRP in early 2018 of $3.92, I think there's no chance that it will not be smashed at some point. And so I'm happy to hold, and I'm happy to continue to invest additional money, little bits that I am willing to lose in case I'm wrong, because it's fair to assess that this is a high-risk, high-reward type scenario, but it's highly volatile. Let's be real here. If we're wrong, we lose everything. I just don't think I'm wrong. I am Mr. XRP Bull, so that's my 2.5 cents on that one there. Check out this tweet. This was from Frecky, and I just it shared the sentiment here. Let me click on this. So tagged me in Digital Asset Investor and Modern Investor. So thank you for tagging me, Frecky. And states decoupling update XRP community here. And so this was how early in the day was this? Okay, so this wasn't that long ago. This is about an hour ago. It says I'm recording this at 7:51 p.m. here in the good old Midwest here at this exact minute. And so this was just a little over an hour ago. So this is what the chart looked like at the time, I'm sure. And, it goes with the whole theory that I've been putting out there with over the last, 2 or 3 weeks. I started talking about this concept. People are like, when is XRP going to decouple from Bitcoin? And my argument is that it's decoupling in slow motion. With every single day that passes, more investors like you and me that are actually educated and understand the blend of technology and real-world adoption matters, hence utility. I'm just going to speculate that as that continues to happen, we're going to see additional decoupling of XRP over Bitcoin. And I don't know, and I think so. It's going to happen slowly over time. But I do think, even though that is true, I do think that you can reach a tipping point. I do think that's possible. So if XRP is able to start to decouple and it's doing well and has a parabolic run, and what if it does run past Bitcoin in market cap? Well, if it does, well, that's going to put the eyes of every human on the planet that's engaged around crypto. It's squarely focused on XRP, and then that many more people would research it, and then you can imagine what potentially a snowball effect of that would look like. That's what I'm speculating, just big picture type of thoughts. That's what I'm looking at here. And you can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. I love diversity of thought. I'm not a know-it-all, so just tell me what you think. Check out this tweet. This is from Julia12, who wrote, I get whales, but I think having new XRP released every month affects price too. Not saying it's a bad thing, but saying it may have an effect. I much prefer slow and steady than volatile roller coaster anyway. Just my perspective is all. And then in parentheses she writes, some might think that it's dumb, and that's okay. Well, I don't think it's dumb at all. I would say my opinion's a little bit different. I would say that I don't think you made a dumb statement. I think I think that Ripple, I know this is the case actually because they have a 30-year distribution plan for XRP. They limit their release of XRP to a certain percentage of trade volume, and that's why they're reducing it for the fourth quarter. Actually, maybe it's beginning. Well, actually, third quarter technically, because they reported that after the second quarter. So anyway, yeah. So clarified on that now, but that's just based on just kind of a recalibration based on new data as far as what actual volumes are, because as far as what's reported at CoinMarketCap and Live Coin Watch, there's room for improvement. So that's where that's coming from. Galgatron responded to that. Ripple is a benevolent whale for sure, building value into the ecosystem for a biter XRP future. When I read that earlier, I read it as better XRP futures. So I don't know if you meant biter or better now. I don't know. That's what I thought my brain processed it earlier. But regardless, if you want to categorize Ripple as a benevolent whale, that's perfectly fine, because indeed, Ripple is the greatest cheerleader for the entire XRP ecosystem, and they have massive quantities of XRP. So I'm perfectly fine with that characterization of Ripple. They are behaving themselves. They are the adults in the room, right? All right, check out this last piece. Tech giant Samsung teams up with Ripple partner Finabler. Is blockchain or XRP involved? Ooh, speculation is afoot. Samsung Electronics America is teaming up with the UK-based payment platform and RippleNet member Finabler. That's fun to say, Finabler. The companies plan to add a new feature to the Samsung Pay mobile app. It's called Money Transfer and will allow people to send money to 47 countries using a variety of payment options. And here's a quote now. Samsung Pay users in the US can use their existing eligible pre-registered debit or credit cards in Samsung Pay to safely and securely send money in most major currencies to their recipients via Finabler's global network. The service leverages Finabler's global reach and distribution capabilities, providing a wide choice of payout options tailored to the preferences of the recipient. From bank deposits to cash available for pickup. And then the piece continues. Finabler says its cross-border payments technology currently serves more than 25 million in 170 countries worldwide. The company joined Ripple's network of banks and payment providers in December of last year. Hence the speculation part. Finabler's UAE exchange is using Ripple's cross-border payments technology to power remittances in Asia. And Sang W-An, the Vice President of Content and Services at Samsung Electronics America, says the partnership with Finabler is part of a larger plan to expand the reach of Samsung Pay. And here's another quote now. Money transfer is a first step in our vision to evolve Samsung Pay into a platform that makes users' financial lives more convenient. The range of services in Samsung Pay, developed in close collaboration with industry leaders such as Finabler, positions us to positively impact consumers' everyday financial experiences. Samsung, here we go. Check it out. Samsung is joining a growing movement of big tech companies that are pushing to offer financial services, shaking up the banking industry and global remittances. So far, neither Samsung nor Finabler have disclosed whether they are considering the use of blockchain technology or the digital asset XRP. So again, when putting this in the title, I would definitely think it's fair to state that if you were to state that they are, or you believe they are, that would indeed be nothing more than speculation here. And so, who the hell knows? I don't know. It's in crypto media news, so I wanted to cover it towards the end of this video. I didn't think it was necessarily worthy of this content of its own video, but I did want to put it out there because it's in the world, and there's a connection regarding Ripple and maybe the next RP perhaps. So there you go. You can take it for what it's worth. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for hanging in there to the end. You are a rock star. I love you. Platonically. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!